Hi everyone, it's Carol from the Crafty Emporium. It's Sunday afternoon, the sun is shining, my chicken in a bag is in the oven cooking, and I'm bringing you this journal. So, I have to tell you, I love this journal. Every so often there's journals that come along that I make and I'm like, oh, I love it. Anyway, love it, love it, love it. So, this one, I have spent a lot of time on this, and I hope that you can tell as I start to go through it. It's using the Calico Collage kit one fine day as part of my design team project. So I did two because I quite enjoyed using the kit. So I actually produced two journals this month. Well, for last month. So to the journal, because otherwise I'll just prattle on and on again, won't I? So the front cover is covered in a brown suede type fabric, and then I've added loads of different bits and pieces, cheesecloth, lace, tickets, flowers, blah blah blah, and some silk ribbon which is attached over a hitch post, which I sell on my Etsy store. I've left the spine plain, and I've made a messy back. Oh, I need to clear the bits off that, but I've just left the back plain, and I've done it as a hidden hinge spiny thing. So now then, she's a chunky one. There's not too many pages in here, but by the time I've added all the extra bits and pieces in there, she's ended up being quite chunky. So let's go to the inside. So on the inside cover, there's a pocket. Love a pocket. Oh dear, anyone who's on my group will know what that one's about. Love a pocket. And then inside the pocket, there are some journaling cards. On this first page here, I created a very layered effect page with glassine bags and paper bags, and then added loads of different crochet lace and bows and flowers and cards. But if I show you, there's quite a lot to see, and there's several of these pages throughout the journal, so I'm not going to take them all apart because they're all very similar in the style. But at the back there is a piece of tea-dyed paper. So that's in the back there, so it's hard to put in when you're doing it one-handed. And then in the next pocket there is a tag, and the tag is, there's 3 very large tags in the kit, and I have to say I'm loving these large tags because I like the fact that you can then make a booklet from them. And I've also attached the tag to the front of the booklet part, but I've made it so that that's a pocket as well. Put that away later. And then in the paper bag part here, so underneath that there's some layering as well, with a paper doily that was coffee dyed and some coffee dyed lace. And in the bag there's a little wax style envelope with some journaling cards in, and these cabinet cards are from my own stash, but there are other things in the pockets as well from the actual kit. The previous journal that I did using this kit, I focused on the pages. This kit, I actually wanted to focus on these journaling cards that had all got the little sayings on, so I've made those the main feature throughout the journal in this particular book. And then on the next page I've done a ghost tuck so that the same image is underneath. So I printed it out twice, cut it out and stuck it on. And then I made this tag, and I printed off some of the images onto calico fabric. So I've cut that out, put it on some paper from a French book, put a little bit of trim on, a pearlised button, 2 lots of lace, and then inside there's a little saying. And then turn it over and there's a little pocket on the back with one of the journaling cards, and then with some leftover paper I just put a little mini bookmark size piece of paper in there. So that just slots under there. Thank you. On the edge of these papers, and I use tea dyed papers throughout this journal, I got some lovely silk fabric, so I ripped the silk fabric and then I just attached it onto the edge of the page. On this one I have a doily in the background, coffee dyed doily, and then the library pocket I attached on top, and then of course you've got the library card from the kit that goes in the pocket as well. Added some lace at the bottom and some flowers, and then I've got some Latin cards. This tag here, I'm kind of a bit loath to get rid of it really, but that sounds awful, doesn't it? I don't mean get rid, but I'm kind of loath to give up this tag. That's better, Carol. Because I was in a swap with, and I do apologise, I don't think I'm going to get your name right, Tuire, Tuire. I'm sorry, I really don't know how to pronounce your name, and this was one of the tags that was in the pack that she gave me, and I really like it, but I just thought that it went beautifully with this kit, so I decided to give it up. I put some tags on the end with buttons on. On this page here I just did a band with some lace on to just break up the plainness of the paper. I printed some of the kit onto tracing paper, and then I've added a strip of lace onto the edge of the page, and I put some lined writing paper in there. Here I've got some little fabricy style tea bags, sorry, bit of glue on there, and put a little bit of lace on, some buttons, and then I added some beads, I don't know if you can see those, some beads to the strings, and then inside of there I put a little tiny tag with a little circle punched out, and then also another little miniature bookmark from the paper, and did the same again with some more silk, and attached it to the edge of the page, and then put a bulb pin on with some beads and a dagger bead on the bottom. Here I made a little tuck spot so that you can actually insert something in there, and then in the centre of the signature I added 2 pages together to make pockets, but what I did was I lined the pockets with a glassine bag, so it means that when you write on it it'll crinkle. You can hear that. So inside of this one there is a large cabinet card from my own collection, and then excuse me, I made this envelope out of some spare paper, and put a little piece of coffee dyed paper on the front so that you could write the address on. You're not going to send it in the post. And then inside there's an inventory tag and a guest check, and then I attach the circle at the bottom excuse me, to just put the flap under. Then on the ends of the strings, I don't know if you'll see because this is quite a busy page, but I did put a little flower on the end of the strings there. And then in this pocket there's a layered glassine pocket, and inside of the glassine pocket I put a little journaling card, one of the postcards from the kit, and I attached some graph paper on the back of there, and a guest check. And as you'll see as we go throughout the journal, all the stitching that I did, I left all the ends on so that whoever owns this can decide themselves whether they want to keep the strings on or not. But the other thing that I did on the front of this pocket as well is there's 2 little secret hiding places. One is underneath this tag, and there's a little piece of graph paper under there that folds out, and then underneath this tag there's some lined paper underneath there, so that you can do a little bit of secret journaling and hide them in those little places. Here I did some more silk fabric and put another ball pin on with a leaf. Can't speak. I've learned someone else's teeth today, I think. Lined paper, tracing paper with an image from the kit printed on it with a lace edge. On this page I put some vintage music paper that I own on there, and this is one of the pockets that you get 2 of these in the kit, so I cut that out and put that on that page. And then this was a pad that I got from TK Maxx, which I just thought went really nicely with the kit, so I slotted that in there. And a little circle tab on the edge of the page. Here I made a sort of envelope style book, and I attached some coffee dyed lace top and bottom. This is printed on the Calico fabric again, so I added that so that that becomes the little tab that the flap sits under. And then inside of there I've lined it with some brown greaseproof paper and put some tea dyed papers in there to form a booklet. Put some pink lace on the edge of the flap. Some more silk fabric there on the edge of the page. And then this is another page in a similar style to that first one that I showed you. So it's got the paper at the back, and then it's got the booklet like this one, but it's a different image. And then inside the paper bag here, so as you can see there's layering underneath as well. Tag here, music paper. This is another one of those cards that I wanted to really use in these journals. Lots of lace and flowers, and then there's a tag inside that bag pocket with a picture and another one of the Latin cards. And then that tucked inside behind the tag is a piece of paper for you to journal on, and it's on tea dyed card. And I used cheesecloth for the tie at the top of the tag. Here I attached a piece of coffee dyed graph paper. Used the banners from the kit, and this is one of the circles from the kit, and I put some lace around the edge of that. Now I didn't attach the coffee dyed graph paper all the way around because I wanted it to be another little secret hiding place so that you can just put something underneath there, but you do need to be careful because this is quite thin paper, so you can't put masses underneath there. We're on to the second signature now, and this is another one of the layered pockets. So again, we've got the paper at the top, we've got another one of the booklet tags with a different design. Sorry, I keep forgetting to check that I'm in there. And then inside the paper bag there's some lace behind there, and I made a little file folder. There's a little flower on there as well, and these are some butterflies. And then inside there's just some cards and a journaling card from the kit. But again, on the front there's lots of layering and another one of the cards with the saying on which says, when you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. Here I did another one of the pages where I did the ghosting pocket again. So I printed out the page twice and cut out the image, stuck it on so that it now becomes a tuck spot for another one of the big tags. And this again is printed onto fabric, bit of braiding, 2 layers of lace, another little saying in there, and then at the top I put a safety pin with some beads on it. And then on the back there's a pocket with a little miniature bookmarking. That just slots under there. Here I use some silk fabric that I hand dyed, so it's very pretty. I really like it. It's sort of in pinks and beiges. Added a ball pin with some beads on it. Here I did a different kind of envelope pocket, and it's magnetised, so there's a little tab there to pull it open, and then you open up the two envelopes so that you can access the pocket side. So let me just move it across a little, there you go, so that you can access the pockets of the envelopes themselves. So inside of there's 3 index cards attached together with a brad flower. Here this is tracing paper which I attached to the index card so that you can actually see the lines through the tracing paper. Did the same on this side as well, and then behind this part there's another pocket, and I did one of the journaling cards from the kit, and I added it to blue graph paper, and that sits in there, and then did the coffee doilies top and bottom, and so there's plenty of room for journaling just on that section. Did the Mrs. Coggs Elizabeth's lace little tabs on the edge of the page. Here this is a flip up. It's just plain on the back, but behind the flip up page there's the other pocket, and then I've just put in a journaling card and some leftover paper which I made into a little mini booklet style. So they're sort of hidden out the way. The tracing paper with some lace on the edge, lined paper, some more of that silk dyed fabric, hand-dyed fabric, another one of the tea bags, which these are going to be in my Etsy shop, and then inside there's another little tag and a little mini bookmark, and again I've put the beads on the end of the strings, and there's a bulb pin on the edge of the page there. This is really nice tea dyeing, I like this effect on here. Centre of the signature again, and again that we've got the double pockets that I made the same as in the first one, where I joined the 2 pages together, but I lined them with the glassine bag so that it'll crinkle as you write on them. And then inside of this pocket there is a photograph from my own collection. There's a little mini booklet, the tab, and I made a little file folder with some just plain cards in there for you to write on. Again, another little flower on the end of the strings, and then inside this one there's an envelope with one of the postcards from the kit on the front, little tab on the back so that the flap just sits underneath there, and inside is some coffee dyed graph paper. Some more of that really nice tea stained, and some, I love this silk fabric. I think I'm going to have to do some more of this, where I hand dyed it with the distress inks. Put another little ball pin on the end there, lined paper again, tracing paper with part of the kit on and some lace on the edge. Here's another flip up page, and I'll move this on now because on the back of this one, there we go, there's a little pocket and one of the pictures from my own collection. Another one of the pockets, layered pockets, with again one of the cards with the sayings on, saying we rise by lifting others. Put some of this silk, hand-dyed silk fabric on there, lace, flowers, music paper. Again, it's got the paper at the back, the tag in the top, and then inside of the paper bag pocket, so there's some coffee dyed doily there. There's a little mini booklet to write in, and then this was a napkin that I'd got that I put over some book page, and then inside of there with some leftover card I made a little booklet tag. But I just thought the images went really well with the rest of the design. some more of the silk fabric, hand-dyed silk fabric, and then on this page, this is an envelope wrapped around the page, and then I've put a cabinet card in and a postcard from the kit. And then if you saw on the previous video, I did these little flowers that I'd done with my granddaughter. So from some of the leftover paper that I'd got, I punched out the circles to make this flower. It was a video that we'd watched a lady making, and I'm sorry, but I should make a note of all these things. I didn't make a note of who the lady was who did these. I just happened to be watching it with the grandchildren. And it's covered in lace as well. All of the envelope is covered in the lace. And then I put one of the postcards on the envelope and a saying. And again, this was a flower that I'm going to have to ask her how she pronounces her name. Tuia. That's one of the flowers that she sent me, and it was just so pretty. Because it's got this little lace in here with these little embroidered flowers on. I added the button and stuck it onto the back of some French book page. And then if I take the clip off, you open up the envelope, and on the back of the envelope, this is one of the cutouts that you get from the kit, and I stuck it on so that then it's left open to put a little bookmark in there. And then inside the envelope itself, there's some more parts of the kit in there with the postcard and some leftover papers. So that's that bit. I'll put the clip back on in a minute. And then to the back of the book, we've got a pocket on the back, and then with some of the leftover papers, I put those in as journaling sheets to write on, and that's one of the journaling cards that's from the kit. But I added some lace and some braid on this pocket as well, and there's the the seam binding, and I sprayed it with one of my Tattered Angels sprays, so that it is variegated. It's very subtle, but it is slightly variegated. And then to the back cover, so I put book corners on as well, some metal book corners to just protect the edges of the book. So I hope you enjoyed having a look through this journal. As I say, I did spend quite a fair bit of time on it, putting it together, and did a lot of sewing in it for me. And as I say, all the stringy bits is not to everybody's taste, but you can cut them off if you so wish, if you get to own this journal. This will be going into my Etsy store later on this afternoon. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. I need a brew. Can you tell from my voice? I need a brew. See you later. Bye.